CM Punk, how does it feel knowing you got the title now and just moving forward with this kind of almost like a new era for AEW, starting off with you in a way, looking to establish more of the brand, so to speak.
Are we using these? Do I need to talk into this?
These are on?
Do I need to talk into this?
It's just for us. It's not amplification.
All right.
Yeah.
Great.
I wish I had my phone so I could see if I have WrestleZone blocked on Twitter or not.
Very fair.
Yeah, that's a fair thing.
Very good.
What was the question?
So
we're off to a rousing start.
Just starting off with winning the title, and then going to just starting kind of like a new regime or a new start for. How's it kind of feel going with the title starting off now?
I don't think this is necessarily a new regime. I think this is just the onward and upward trajectory that AEW has been on for 3 years, you know. You can say with the addition of me, you know, we're doing better, but I look at it as like with the addition of Bryan Danielson and Adam Cole and all the talent that Tony brings in, you know, every day is a step forward, and it doesn't necessarily start with me being the champion. To me, it's a team effort, and I like to say, if you want to go, you know, fast, you go alone. If you want to go far, you go together. You know, and this is very much a team effort and a team environment backstage. I couldn't do this alone. Obviously, this guy did bring me back to professional wrestling, so all credit to him. It wasn't easy to do. And I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to be the champ. I take great responsibility in holding that title, and you know, if I'm the face of AEW, then I'm the face of AEW, and I'm going to do everything I possibly can to not just put more money in my pocket, but his pocket and everybody's pockets backstage, and put on the best possible show every single time I can for all of you.
Cool. Thank you.
Nick?
Congratulations.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, a lot of people were talking about the promo exchange you had with. A lot of people were talking about the promo exchange you had with Page leading into Double or Nothing. How it felt like there was some real tension there. Do you feel like you're blending in with this locker room, or do you still feel like you're kind of somebody on the outside trying to find his way in to the regular mix of AEW?
I've grown so wise in my old age that I'll do my best to be as diplomatic as I possibly can with this answer. If there's people backstage that don't like me, it's a minority, and if anybody says that nobody wants me here and nobody likes me, I like to say that nobodies don't like me and nobodies don't want me here. Run with that.
Fair enough.
Danny?
Danny Webster, Las Vegas Sun. You kind of touched on it on Dynamite over 10 years ago in this city. You had a moment that kind of skyrocketed your professional wrestling career. To come back here 10 years, 11 years later, does it feel like a full circle type moment for you, given what happened back then?
Yeah, a little bit. I just did. Mark Raimondi interviewed me for ESPN, and I said something that I think a lot of people, obviously, on its face will think is ridiculous. I said I feel like the 7 years I was out of the ring, I didn't feel was wasted. I feel almost that the 10 years that I spent in WWE was wasted, because I feel it is management, owner, booker, whoever's job is to get the most out of all the talent. And I feel that I reached the potential that I could have, given the limitations they constantly put on me. And I feel here, there's no limitations put on myself or anybody, and sky's the limit. So I finally feel like I could reach my potential. So that's what I mean when I say that, goddamn, I look back on that time and I'm like, you know, like, what are we doing? To me, you're always trying to make the most money and put on the best possible show you can. And it felt like 10 years of fighting silly battles and standing on my own dick, and I'm not in the business of trying to stand on my own dick. And I'll say it one more time, I don't do that here, you know. I think everybody here can reach their fullest potential, you know? We have a dentist that works here, right? Because I chipped my teeth at some point.
She's very good.
Yeah. It fucking sucks.
Miguel?
Hi, Mike Dagger with Lucha Libre Online. Punk, it's been almost 9
I for
years.
sure got you guys blocked, I'm pretty sure.
Pretty sure you got us
Yeah,
blocked?
I'm pretty
sure you got me blocked.
I'm pretty sure.
Positive.
Yeah,
And
okay.
especially after this question, you probably will like me even less. But,
I haven't answered yet, so, you know.
so, it's been around 9 years since you've been world champion somewhere else again. How do you feel? You seem a little tired, but
Well, the show is like fucking 12 hours long.
Have you ever watched a wrestle?
You're not tired? Come on.
I'm tired as hell. Y'all's match was like 2 hours. So
Yeah, it was great match.
But my real question is, you had like a little bit of a Twitter war not too long ago with Eric Bischoff, where he, and I quote, he said that you were the biggest financial flub at wrestling.
That's fucking bullshit. I can tell there's only one person that can attest to that. I don't know what other people, I can only attest what's happened here and public record, and some of these things are a matter of public record because things of freedom of information and stuff. So we do, have over the years a good amount of financial data in pro wrestling. I can tell you, like, no one wrestler has ever come in and made a bigger plus delta financial difference in the history of my company going into, this is the 3rd year anniversary this week, going into year 4, no one person has ever made a more positive impact. We just did a record pay-per-view buy. Every pay-per-view, he's done a 4 pay-per-view cycle now. Every one of them was the record. Whether it was All Out, where he was a huge part of the draw with Darby, and his debut, of course, is a huge thing from the first dance, the biggest Rampage draw in the history of that show. The matches, he carried the Friday Night War, which, by the way, is a matter of record in fucking court in the state of California, that we won the Friday Night War. Just ask Jerry McDivitt, because he fucking wrote it. And this guy won it versus Matt Sydal, who's a great wrestler. He had another goddamn great match on Friday night. This fucking guy, he fucking did the Friday Night War. He did the first dance. He's done the record Double or Nothing. He did the record All Out in his debut. He was a big part of a record Full Gear, a great match with Eddie Kingston, and fucking he's wrestled a bunch of young guys, a bunch of veterans in between there. Will Hobbs, Daniel Garcia, goddammit. And then he showed up, did the biggest program in terms of everything, TV, box ever with MJF, and then he did the goddamn main event here. He's the biggest part of financial success in the history of this company. Let's fucking go!
Good answer, Jeff.
Yeah, good answer. I will quasi-answer that. I didn't have a Twitter war with anybody. I never mentioned them by name, and I think people like that just need to die in the dark, and I don't need to speak their name and stuff like that. I'm focused on what we're doing and the positives we bring to the world.
I don't want anybody to die. but nevertheless, it is bullshit what he said.
Yeah. We don't need to. Everybody's got a shitty opinion, so just let them have it.
That's a shitty opinion. It's the most bullshit opinion I've ever heard. And like I said, I hope the answer I gave got backed up why he's the opposite. He's actually, for us, the biggest financial success story. And
Okay, we're moving on.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. It works me up. Sorry.
I know.
Sorry.
Okay, Will?
After the match, you kind of made a joke, kind of in jest and kind of not about never doing another bump shot lariat.
Yeah.
I mean, did you feel like when you did that, it was like, oh my God, I made a mistake, or was it just like?
Oh, I'm sure you're not going to give me 5 stars. Yeah, that's one of those fucking things. That's the only time that I've missed it since I've tried it. I did it on TV, and I just didn't hit it for whatever reason, and it sucks. But that's the fun thing about pro wrestling is I'm more comfortable when shit goes fucking sideways, and not everything needs to look perfect, in my opinion. I'll probably beat myself up about it way too much, but mistakes happen.
So now going forward as champion, are there any names that you're looking forward to more than others? I mean, there's a list of 30 guys or more that we could go right through, but is there anyone that you're going like right now, whether it's whoever it is, that you're really looking forward to going against next?
Well, obviously we got Forbidden Door coming up, so to me, focusing on that, I think Okada, Tanahashi, Ospreay, guys like that, I'm looking forward to stepping in the ring with. AEW talent, I always think number one with a bullet is going to be Bryan Danielson. I've never wrestled John Moxley. I wrestled Dean Ambrose, so that's an interesting matchup. There's still guys on my list that I've never wrestled with: Jungle Boy, Ricky Starks. I could probably finish out my career wrestling FTR like every day for the rest of my life, and it could be different and fun every single time. Will Hobbs is another guy that I think has all the potential in the world. We got a really stacked roster. It's almost a crime that we can't do everybody justice at once, but I think we're getting there with baby steps, and I think we're learning. I think we may make mistakes, but instead of dwelling on it and punishing other people or ourselves, I think we move on and we just try to learn from things. But Bryan Danielson would probably be the first guy that comes to mind. Very selfishly, I'd love to wrestle him again.
Will Washington, Fightful. So you famously had two other reigns that kind of kicked off summer in 2005, the Death Before Dishonor 3. You won the ROH World Title and kicked off what was known as the Summer of Punk. Fans kind of dubbed 2011 Money in the Bank the Summer of Punk. And now we're going into another summer, and here you are, the AEW World Champion. How do you feel this next reign can go the distance and top what you did with specifically the first run with Ring of Honor?
I don't know. I mean, that's the goal, right? And it's weird too, because I'm a fall guy. I like Halloween, I like the cooler weather, but summer seems to be my time of year. I think we top it by telling great stories and making the focus wrestling, and I have a crazy sandbox full of talent that I get to wrestle, and I think that's how we try to top it. I feel like this is the first time in my career I'm more comfortable being the good guy. I've always felt a little shy about it. I feel more connected to the audience than ever before. It probably has a lot to do with me disappearing for so long. And every day really is a gift. And I think that the fans feel that, and I think I project that. It's just like, and this could all be gone tomorrow, and I'm just trying to really relish every single moment I have in the ring and make everything special. That's how we make that the best summer of Punk. Just try to make every moment count.
Dave Schilling?
Dave Schilling, LA Times. Two questions, one for each of you. Punk, you have wrestled a lot of the best in AEW so far, and I think this is probably one of your best, at least I think from a crowd response perspective. I certainly love the match. Where do you rank this in the matches you've had so far back in AEW? Tony, you've talked a lot about how you've planned out the first four champions pretty early in the AEW history. When did you know Punk was going to be the 5?
You want to go first?
Where do I rank it? I don't know. Dax will probably make me watch it. And I don't know. The thing that's going to stick in my head is, I screwed something up, and it might take that out of the equation, and it might have felt like damn near perfect match to me just from the crowd response. And I feel like they were super into him and me, and it's more of the engagement with the audience and letting them kind of dictate which way we go. It's up there, especially when you consider this was the first time we ever locked up, and the first time you ever wrestle somebody who's normally sometimes it gets a little sticky, so as far as matches go, first time we ever touched, I think it's pretty damn good. But as far as ranking it, I don't know. I'm honestly my worst critic, and I think everything I do is kind of meh. So I don't want to rate it.
I'm embarrassed to answer this specifically, especially with the champ sitting here. So I'm gonna kind of dance around your question, but say that we got very close in the pandemic, and then as soon as I think there was a point where there were no fans in the seats still, but we were really tight. And then things came together, and the first dance lined up, and it was like this miraculous thing that the United Center was available right before All Out, right, like within a month of when we came back, about a month and a half when we first returned to the road, and it was exactly what he wanted. And I think I knew he could do it. I knew he could do it, and what would happen. And like I always said to you guys from the beginning, this isn't some Hollywood bullshit comeback. He's here every week. Nobody works harder than CM Punk in his company, and nobody's done more for this company in the last year than CM Punk has. And so I think in the pandemic I could foresee that like that. But from the other truth that is a good question, and I want to tell, and he knows, and is from the very beginning. Like he made no secret. Like you wanted to see if this thing got off the ground. You didn't want to be a guinea pig from this thing from the very beginning, and you came in at a time when the company had taken steps. And then I think like when you and I got to know each other in the pandemic, I think it like opened up, it created a chance for us to we had a lot of time at home and just started talking on the phone a lot and became friends. And so I think like that created an opportunity. We just didn't know when the fans would come back, but the fans have made this so special from the first dance. So the first moment he walked out is one of the great moments in wrestling tonight. It's such a great moment. And what I would add is from the very beginning of the company, I knew that if we had CM Punk and along with the people we got, I've wanted him from day one, but when he finally came, it was been the best stuff we've ever done. Like I was saying, gave financial, it's not just about the financial, it's about the people. And we've never been in a better place because of you. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Righteous Rage, Pro Wrestling Illustrated, Grass League Podcast. I'd like to formally apologize for the tears last time we had a conversation on the Scrum.
I've cried 6 times today.
Yeah, I get
it. Seems to be a theme.
Congratulations on your
Thank you.
victory. AEW are on their way back to your hometown, Chicago, Illinois. How do you feel going into Chicago now as the AEW World Champion?
I feel a great responsibility, Everybody always talks about locker room leaders and all this corny shit, and I don't necessarily think they exist, except certain people lead by example, and to me that's what leading is. So I'll lead the company into Chicago, and I'll learn from all my past mistakes and do the best I possibly can to show everybody in the locker room, not necessarily the one right way to do things, but how to operate and how to conduct yourself as a champion. But I'm very excited to go back to Chicago. On top of doing AEW every week, I've been filming 2 television shows, so I kind of haven't been home in a very, very long time, and I'm hoping my schedule clears up a little bit so I get to actually spend maybe a week or 2 at home before the pay-per-view, but we'll see. Shooting a television show in the time of COVID is actually more chaotic than pro wrestling, but I'm hoping to just keep working hard, staying healthy, and the show's already sold out, so to me my focus is selling pay-per-views, but I'm very excited to go home.
You're also leading the company into LA, champ.
I am. The Forum. It's so weird. A couple weeks ago, I went to the Forum to see Bill Burr, and I was sitting there and I was watching Bill Burr, and I just was looking around thinking, man, this is so crazy. All these people came to see this guy. Hey, wait a second, we sold this place out too. It was like an aha moment. I was like, wow, it's pretty fucking cool. It's a famous building, and again, fortunate and grateful every day. I can say I sold out the Staples Center, and now I can say part of selling out the Forum, and it's neat. It's exciting to me.
Bill Burr was here last night too.
Was he?
Yeah, he was here.
Son
I saw
of a
him.
bitch. He's following me everywhere.
Great.
This guy.
Okay, last question, Stephanie.
Hi, Stephanie Chase from Digital Spy. The last time we saw you here, Punk, do one of these, you had just gone through this feud where you kind of look back on your whole career and you're very emotional. So I'm wondering about the timing now having just done that, was that good to get that kind of out of your system, like a cathartic moment, so now you can move on into maybe another stage as the AEW champion?
Yes, it's very much by design. Come back, get your feet wet, show that you can still hang, do a bunch of callbacks, kind of catch people up to speed about stuff they may not have seen. Is a happy accident that Tony bought Ring of Honor at the same time, so it's a great advertisement for that company, and I think MJF growing up a CM Punk fan was such a big part of that we got to tell that story, not just like a nostalgic way. We got to tell it through the eyes of a kid who grew up watching it, and different perspective. It's just pretty super interesting to me that we got to tell that perspective and tell that story, and it's just different chapters. And now this for sure is just the next chapter, and that was about the past, and this is about the future, and I'm excited to tell that story.
Thank you very much. See you.
Dave, you good? You got anything else? You good? You good? Brian, you good? You all right? You sure?
I actually have a question. I don't want to kiss your ass here, but...
No, please, kiss my ass. That's why I'm here.
I've been watching your matches, and I feel this is the best you've ever been as a worker.
It's crazy, right?
Guy.
It's crazy.
And, but I wanted to ask your opinion. What you think? Because obviously you had the ROH run, WWE run, this run here.
Yeah.
What do you feel?
What are you laughing at?
I think it's so awesome. I think he's right. I think he's totally right. I think it's so cool.
I think you're right too, and it's really crazy. I don't know if it's I'm just older and I'm wiser. I don't know if it's just there's more, like I talked about it before. I feel like there's more of a special connection with the crowd and me. I don't know, man. I'm having so much fun, and I approach things logically all the time, whereas before, somewhere else, I think there was just all this external bullshit that at the end of the day doesn't really matter, and I don't have that here. There's not all that weird pressure, and I can just kind of go out there and, for lack of a better description, just be an artist, if that makes sense. It sounds super fucking pretentious. This is pro wrestling, right? But I think some of the best guys that ever laced up a pair of boots looked at it that way, and I said it to Mark Raimondi. I said, I used to think, man, 43 was old as shit, like these guys shouldn't be in the ring, what the fuck? And now I look at it just like I'm in my prime, and I don't want to just use that prime for me. And that's hard to say because here I am and I have the title, but I want to use the time I have now to tell those best stories in hopes that the people I'm working with and the people that are in the locker room watching are like, oh, I get it. Like a lot of it comes with experience and putting time in. So I've developed the relationship with the crowd, and I just think it's this place. This place makes me better than I've ever been because I'm able to reach my full potential. Everything about it. This is this place in the mix of talent, and for all its warts, I love AEW. But like this is what I dreamed pro wrestling could and should be in America since I was like 15 years old, and it took this long to get here. And I think that's what helps make me be the best version of myself that I've ever been. And on top of that, I got tremendous talent that carries me through and makes me probably look better than I really am, and that's part of it too.
I do have a question.
Yeah.
What was it like as far as, and I don't even know how close you were watching the undercard, but the matches that were, the last couple of matches before your match were pretty freaking great. I mean, you would probably know that before the show had started anyway. I mean, do you feel a lot of pressure because you're going to follow some incredible matches?
Yes.
I mean, is that like, and you're on last. You've got to put on a great match because you've got to equal or top what has already happened.
Correct. I oddly don't feel the pressure because I think up until this point, the one match that people didn't want to follow on these pay-per-views was probably me. regardless of whether there's furniture and blood and all this other stuff. I think that's probably why I'm in the position, and I kind of relish being in the position where I think if anybody can do it, it's me. Just because I have the experience, and I can pay attention to the undercard, and I can change things based on what other people have done. So we're not seeing the same things over and over again, and you're going to see repeat moves and stuff like that. But I think I can adapt more just because I have the experience better than other people can. And I know because I have that connection with the crowd. And I really think me versus Hangman was just an interesting thing, and it was kind of 50-50 for a minute. And it might be the first title match that a lot of people kind of felt could go either way. I think that's why I'm in the position I'm in, is because I can adapt on the fly, and I can kind of change things at the drop of a hat and make it all work and not feel that pressure, whereas maybe somebody else will feel that pressure and maybe try to do too much or whatever. And I can just go out there and just kind of listen to the crowd and be like, okay, we got them. We don't need to go completely crazy. And a testament to the crowd too, though, because it's a long show and they see everything, and they're still up for that main event, man. We got the best crowd in the world, man. We got the best fans.
Thank you, guys. Really appreciate it. Thank you.
Appreciate every single one of you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, guys. Thank you.